What's up guys, welcome to a video where I'm going to admit that I was completely wrong about one of the abilities in game that is absolutely worth unlocking. In this video I'm going to be talking to you about the ability Disruption Shield, because I put off getting this ability for a hell of a long time because I thought, you know what, you don't need this ability, it is what it is, it's probably helpful, but you don't need it. And the truth is you don't need it, you absolutely don't. But the other truth is this ability is incredible. It is so damn good. It is so damn helpful. And in this video, I'm going to explain why it's so helpful and the reason I was wrong. And you should absolutely work towards getting this ability as soon as you can if you are into PvM. Anyway, with that being said, let's get into the video and let's talk about this. If you enjoy, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and let's go. So the background footage for now is probably just me using PvM, but you will be seeing me use the Disruption Shield ability now and then. But the Disruption Shield ability is an ability that you unlock from doing the Livid Farm minigame. It costs you 290,000 produce points. Well, it says costs you, but it doesn't really cost you. You just have to accumulate those and then you get it unlocked. You don't spend produce points here, you just unlock that many of them and then you unlock all the rewards up to that point. That being said, this is how you do unlock it. However, you don't have to do the Livid Farm actual minigame if you don't want to. You can buy livid plants from the traveling merchant and these will offer you anywhere between 10,000 to 40,000 livid farm produce points. So when you consume it, you're going to get between 10 and 40k livid farm produce points to go towards your 290,000 that you do need to get Disruption Shield. That being said, Disruption Shield is also on a different spellbook. It is on the Lunar spellbook, meaning you are going to want to switch if you're using Ancient Magics on Magic or if you're using Standard spellbook, that sort of stuff. But you can use spellbook swap for this, and the Disruption Shield is used off of cooldown, which means you can use this off global cooldown, meaning the second you activate it, it happens on tick and you don't interrupt anything else. You can continue on using abilities as you normally would. It is a super smooth thing to use and it is incredibly helpful. What the Disruption Shield ability does is it will block the next instance of damage that you would have taken, no matter what the damage type is, unless it is hard typeless damage. An example of hard typeless damage is the red damage that you would take, the typeless damage that you would take from Nex in the prison. You can't block that, but in other situations you can block typeless damage, such as the so much power at Telos, you can block that, and typeless damage from Raksha when a rock falls on your head, you can block this too. A lot of typeless damage can be blocked with this, and a lot of normal damage as well. Of course, all normal damage can be blocked with this too. It is only one instance, and the Disruption Shield ability does have a cooldown of 60 seconds, meaning you can block one instance of damage every 60 seconds off of global cooldown, which stops you from having to use things like Resonance or Barricade or anything like that to actually take time out of your rotation and stuff to block some damage. Now, the reason I thought this ability was you know, it's okay, it's probably very helpful, it probably helps on kill times and stuff, but that's probably about it. I thought that's pretty much where it was at, because in my eyes I could just use Resonance to do anything that this would do. For example, if you were going to use Disruption Shield to block the so much power at Telos, you can just use Resonance and it will reduce the damage to 0 and it'll do the exact same. The only difference is I would just have to use a global cooldown ability, meaning I would get like what, 2 seconds, 3 seconds slower kill time. This was a completely wrong idea. It was right in what I was saying. You can block that, you can use Resonance, but it actually makes a big difference. It's not just about, oh, you used one ability on defensives. Yes, that is still a thing, but the Disruption Shield ability has so many more uses just outside of purely blocking damage. Like, it does so many different things. It can be used in emergencies, it can be used for other DPS things that you can use as well, and I'm going to be giving you examples of this. That being said, I just wanted to make this video talking about the fact that I was completely wrong. The Disruption Shield ability is incredible. It is so freaking good, and I'm going to tell you exactly why in the next few examples. So as mentioned, I always was told in the past that, hey, Disruption Shield blocks an instance of damage, that's what it does, it is what it is, and I never really thought about all the extra things that you can get out of it. Also, not to mention the fact that Disruption Shield is an instant cast ability. You can use it at any point, it will be done immediately, so you can use this as a huge emergency save, which we're going to get to at some point too. But overall, I was told that it blocks a bit of damage, and it wasn't really anything I thought about as needing, because all it would do is save me from having to use Resonance, which would save me a few seconds in a boss fight. Not really a big deal. But this is just not true. There is a lot of examples that I could give you where using Disruption Shield actually comes in a hell of a lot of handy for not just taking advantage of blocking a typeless hit or something like that, but we're going to give you all of them. I'll give you a few of the examples, the main ones that I normally use it for, and I'm super glad that I actually went and unlocked this finally. So the first one is going to be things like just blocking regular damage. So for example, at Raksha, you're on the Rockfall thing. If you're using like a Staff of Armadil, ideally you don't want to be moving if your staff spec is up, because you want to be channeling the Armadil Battle Staff thing. So what I used to do is just use a Vitality Potion and just channel away. Everything is usually fine. Every now and again though, you get unlucky and you get a freaking stupid amount of rocks fall on your head. You can use your Disruption Shield in between channeling those Armadil Battle Staffs, and you're going to get one of those blocked. I used to do this with Resonance instead. Of course, that would interrupt the DPS, but you can just do that and go immediately back to using the Armadil Battle Staff spec, and it won't delay you at all. So of course, this is good for your DPS, but again, like I said, this is literally just one Resonance thing, so you would save a few seconds, but overall, it's still going to do that same thing. So you can still use it for instances like this. You can use it for things like blocking so much power. You can use it for blocking anything that you want to block. That is the main use of this. But because of how it works, you can get advantages of other things as well. One of them is something that is pretty niche, and a lot of them are going to be niche as well. So the first one, for example, would be if you are using an SGB and an Essence of Finality with an Eldritch Crossbow, you want to stack them together. What I mean is you would use an Essence of Finality Eldritch Crossbow to get yourself the spec on, and then you would use an SGB. It feels incredibly bad to be able to use the SGB and then have to prayer flick it somewhere like Raksha just as your SGB hits are about to land. The reason being is you're going to miss out on all those Eldritch Crossbow spec effects on all of the SGB hits. So what you can do is throw your SGB out after you've used the Eldritch Crossbow and then immediately Disruption Shield. This is going to mean that you don't have to prayer flick for the next one, and you're going to guarantee that your SGB hits all get the effect of your Eldritch Crossbow. Of course, you could just time this differently, but for me, I don't really keep that in mind all the time. I'll just use it and then I'll go, oh crap, I'm going to have to prayer flick. So you just use the Disruption Shield. It is really good. It's going to guarantee you get more DPS out of it, and this is absolutely something you can do with more things than just that. You could do it with like a rapid fire, you could do it with a dead shot, you could do it with many different things, but you can use this to increase your DPS in certain situations. Every 60 seconds you can do this. The SGB spec is every 30 seconds, so I guess you're going to have to tank a hit on one of them if you don't want to do that, or prayer flick. But taking advantage of this has definitely improved my kill times at places like Raksha, where I now don't have to prayer flick as my SGB land. I also do this in places like ED2 at the dragon bosses and stuff. SGB is incredible there, so places like that, if you don't want to prayer flick, just chuck on the Disruption Shield, make sure your SGB lands with all your Eldritch Crossbow hits, and get yourself a nice bit of increased damage, guaranteed. Another way that I take advantage of this is at Kerapack in hard mode. For example, on the Kerapack Lightnings, I used to just use Resonance as I would run through one of the lightnings if I needed to, or if I was going to surge through it, I would still use Resonance to make sure the lightning, if it did hit me once, didn't do any damage. You can do the exact same thing with Disruption Shield. As you're going through the lightning, you can just chuck on your Disruption Shield. It doesn't interrupt your like abilities or anything like that, unless you're channeling something, but it doesn't interrupt your rotation, all that sort of stuff. Literally just chuck it on, run through the lightning, and block the hit that you would have taken. If you run directly through the lightning, you're only going to get hit by it once, assuming you don't run like a diagonal or something like that, meaning you can just Disruption Shield and run directly through it, and you'll be absolutely fine. If you are running through multiple, you could use Resonance and Disruption Shield, and you're going to survive. You'll be absolutely fine. You will take hardly any damage. It's another great thing to do. You could use it at Araxi, for example, if you are going to be tanking one of the hits from the acid core that dances around the room. When it lands on you, if you Disruption Shield for that one hit and then move off of it, you're not going to take that big damage hit, which is definitely something that can get you killed at some point during the fight. It's happened to me many times. I'm like, right, tank one hit, move away. You take that one hit, it hits you for a few thousand, you're dead. It's not very fun. But if you use Disruption Shield at the right time, you can block that too. You can see how this goes. You can block a lot of different things, and you can take advantage of it because it is absolutely instant and off global cooldown to get a lot of damage out of it as well, and use it in situations that are going to make your life a lot better. You don't have to worry about defensives. You can just get immediately onto it. Now, the next thing, and probably the biggest thing for me, is the fact that it is an instant thing. You can use this as a panic button, like a panic, don't kill me button. And you can't do this with Resonance, you can't do this with Barricade, you can't do this with anything that has to go on the global cooldown. What I mean by this is, and probably the best example that I can give you, is at Zook. At Zook, there is one special attack that he does where he will bring a what looks like a magic attack towards you, but it's not a magic attack, it's a typeless hit that does a good amount of damage. I can't tell you how many times this has killed me because I have not had resonance ready, I have not had anything ready, and I've not been prepared for it. Completely forgot about it. I still always forget about it, and I see it coming because it's a decent length animation, but it is quicker than a global cooldown. So I see him use the actual animation, and then I'm like, crap, I can't use resonance in time, I'm going to die. Well, with Disruption Shield, you can instantly block it. It doesn't matter. Whatever the situation is, you can cast this immediately and you'll be absolutely fine. Like, it's a panic button. It's the best panic button in the game, in my opinion. And holy crap, it has saved me so many times at this point after getting it. So places like this, where you need to deal with a mechanic like very, very quickly, but you are on global cooldown still, Disruption Shield is literally the ability to go to. It is an immediate thing, and in all honesty, it is a lifesaver in many situations. So if you are someone who is thinking like what I did, where you're like, Disruption Shield is a lot of effort to get, I don't really want to do Liquid Farm, I don't really want to have to do the spellbook swapping and stuff, you could quite easily keybind them together. For example, if you wanted to, you could put it on Z and X, so your spellbook swap will be on Z, Disruption Shield will be on X, you just roll your finger across Z and X, and it's done for you, it's not a problem, and then it automatically swaps back to the spellbook you were using anyway, so it's not really difficult to do. I have it on the exact same sort of thing, I just have it next to each other, you just press the buttons very quickly, and it's all sorted. If you are someone who is putting off getting this, just get it, trust me. For someone who put it off for probably, I want to say like a year and a half, I put it off for that long. I was literally like a couple of livid plants away, just couldn't bother doing it, didn't think it was that big of a deal. I am completely wrong. I'm happy to say I was completely wrong about this. Disruption Shield is incredible, and I don't know how this video is so long, but it is what it is. And I hope that you find this useful. I hope that you do get this ability, and comment down below. Init, you're an idiot. If you want to, absolutely fine, because I will hold my hands up on this one. When people told me to get it, I should have got it. Anyway, guys, get Disruption Shield. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.